Remember when this guy broke Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
I'd like to call my parents right now.
Sure.
Use my lifeline, call my parents.
Let's go back.
Tamagotchi,
Of Y2K.
A $1 million question.
Hold up, before we get to that, let's go back a bit further. Today you may think of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire as that game show that's on GSN sometimes. Or maybe you don't think about it at all. But in 1999, Millionaire was one of the hottest shows on television. For me, I was 8 at the time, and I'm sure I didn't know any of the answers, but I used to sit and watch it with my grandma. My grandma not only enjoyed game shows, but she was a big fan of Regis Philbin from Live with Regis and Kathy Lee, which I in turn would watch nearly every morning as well. In fact, we even sent Regis a Notre Dame Fighting Irish clock, and we got a signed postcard back. If I can find it, I'll put the photo in right here.
Wow.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire debuted on ABC on August 16, 1999, and was adapted from the British version, which aired a year earlier. You're probably wondering what the big deal is. It just seems like another run-of-the-mill trivia show. Well, at the time, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was the first US network show to offer a $1 million prize. In fact, it was such a big prize that on August 25th, 1999, a contestant named Michael Shutterly became the biggest winner in United States TV history by winning $500,000 on the show. If you're not good at math like me, that's half the grand prize offered on Millionaire. The show still airs today and has gone through a slew of hosts like Meredith Vieira, Cedric the Entertainer, Terry Crews, Chris Harrison, and Jimmy Kimmel. The popularity of the show swept through the nation. They had video games. God, did they have a lot of video games. Quiz books, calendars, board games, and put the phrase, "Is that your final answer?" into pop culture vocabulary.
Is that your final answer?
There was even a Disney Parks attraction at Hollywood Studios where anyone could play, but instead of money you won points and win things like lapel pins, which will be great if when the inevitable apocalypse comes and we start using pins as currency. Now that we got the context of Millionaire's popularity at the time out of the way, let me quickly talk about the format for those of you who have never seen the show or didn't watch it back then in 1999. Because it evolved over the years from its original format. Each competition began with 10 contestants sitting around the Millionaire set for the fastest finger challenge to determine who would sit in the hot seat. That's right, you originally had to win your way onto the show. It consisted of putting 4 answers in a certain order. The first person to do it quickest and correctly would get a chance to win the $1 million prize. Contestants who would make it to the chair would answer 15 different multiple choice trivia questions, each with increasing dollar amounts and increasing in difficulty. If you get one question wrong, you're out. However, not only could you choose to walk away with the money you've earned without answering the question, but there are 2 save points. If you reach the $1,000 tier, you're guaranteed that money, and again at $32,000. There are 3 lifelines you could use only once. 50-50, which allow you to remove 2 wrong answers. Ask the audience, where the contestant could ask for the audience to take a poll on what they think is the correct answer. And Phone a Friend, which is pretty self-explanatory and plays an important role in the specific episode I'll be talking about. How difficult is it? Well, the show has been on for over 2 decades and only 12 contestants have answered all 15 questions correctly to win the $1 million. Okay, I think we're ready now. Let's go back to the beginning of the video. This particular episode of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is coming to an end, but we have just enough time to find out who will be the next contestant. Among the 10 people competing in the fastest finger challenge is 31-year-old IRS agent from Northampton, Massachusetts, John Carpenter. Coming off his success from the Scream franchise, he sits in as... What? What's that? Oh, it's a different John Carpenter, my bad. So John is able to list these 4 races from shortest to longest and greets Regis as he takes his spot in the hot seat, and he's introduced to the audience.
And this should make you a real crowd favorite. John works for the IRS. We've never had a contestant booed.
Okay, so I haven't seen this episode since I was 8, like I said. This will be my first time rewatching it with you all, so I figured I'd play along and see how I do. I have low expectations, so as long as I can get past that first question, I'll be happy. I don't want to be like that famous IKEA guy who confidently answered and then got the first question wrong.
In fact, if I win $1 million, I would love to take a trip to Italy. I'm going to say Rome, final answer.
Brittany was IKEA.
The only one I won't answer is the last one, because I already saw the answer when doing research for this video. Let's do it. $100 question.
In the Roadrunner and Coyote cartoons, John, what famous sound does the Roadrunner make? Ping ping?
I'm gonna go with beep beep, Regis, and if I win, I'm gonna go to IKEA and eat as many meatballs as I can.
It's a good one. He did say beep, beep. You're right.
Boom, nailed it.
Where should choking victims place their hands to indicate to others they need help? Over the eyes, on the knees, around the throat.
I'm gonna have to go with around the throat.
It's exactly right, around the throat.
I gotta say, I've never been more confident than I am right now. So at this point, the episode ends, and John moves on to the next night to continue his run. So let's keep the questions rolling.
Which of these dance names is used to describe a fashionable dot? Hora, swing, lambada, polka.
Oh, thank God polka's there. I started to panic a little. Give me the D, Regis. I mean D the answer.
It's a polka, you're absolutely right.
I'm really banking on there not being any geography questions.
In what language would you say LOA to greet your friends? Bull Latin, dog Latin, duck Latin, pig Latin.
Again, thankfully there are options for this, so let's go with D again, Regis.
Absolutely right, pig Latin is it. Which part of a chicken is commonly called a drumstick?
That would be the chicken leg, because I remember all the people at Disney World carrying around turkey legs, and they were drumsticks.
Yes, indeed, it's the leg. You're absolutely right.
I'm having a real Slumdog Millionaire moment right now. Okay, now that John has reached $1,000, he's guaranteed that money, and the questions amp up a bit. Let's check out the $2,000 question.
What is the only position on a football team that can be sacked?
Football's my favorite sport, so I'm going to say quarterback before the answers even come up.
Absolutely right. You won $2,000.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit cocky.
What god of love is often depicted as a chubby winged infant with a bow and arrow?
Okay, so far we haven't hit anything too difficult because this one is C, Cupid.
Yes, even IRS agents can fall in love.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting a little excited for money that I'm actually not gonna win.
What Steven Spielberg film climaxes at a place called Devil's Tower?
Hell yeah, movie questions are my bread and butter. I'm gonna go with D, Regis, and that's my final answer.
You're right. Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Alright, Regis, I'm gonna take the $8,000 and leave. I'm gonna use it to go on a bender in Vegas with enough hookers and cocaine that would kill Keith Richards. I guess you can't get away with saying that on ABC.
In what U.S. town did the famous 1881 shootout at the OK Corral take place?
I'm between B and D. I'm gonna go with B in honor of Val Kilmer.
You're right, it's Tombstone, the 1/6.
Whew, it was almost over there for me. I would have definitely used my 50-50 lifeline on that one.
Which of the following months has no U.S. federal holiday? Of all the guys to get this question.
Okay, hold up, I need to pause the episode. I'm at a disadvantage here being Canadian, but November is Thanksgiving in the US. But is that a federal holiday? I think it is. February only has Valentine's Day, I think, which isn't a federal holiday. What's in August and September? Wait, September definitely has something. I can't think of anything for August and February though. I'll go with February because of Valentine's Day not being a federal holiday.
Of course he's right, it's August.
Oh shit, I'm out. At least I'm gonna go home with $1,000, right? Right? Anyway, John now sits 5 questions away from $1 million and he's guaranteed $32,000. But what's most impressive here is he still has all 3 of his lifelines. Let's move on to the $64,000 question, where I'll continue to play along as a loser. Hopefully I don't embarrass myself too much.
What mythological beast is reborn from its own ashes?
That's gonna be a phoenix, Regis. I'm going with A.
It's the Phoenix, he's right, he's won $64,000.
I love getting some nerdy questions late in the game.
Who developed the first effective vaccine against polio?
Okay, I think I'll know this one if I see the answers. Well, I'm sure it isn't C since he created pasteurization. I don't recognize A or B unless Albert Sabin is Nick Saban's great-grandfather, so I'll go with D.
You're right, it's Salk.
Damn that federal holiday question, I would have still been in this.
Which of the following is not a monotheistic religion?
Well, if I was still in this game, this is where I'd be walking away. I know nothing about religion, unfortunately. I'm not even gonna guess because I feel like it would make me look like a real idiot, so I'll let all of you answer for me.
Christianity only has one God, I know that. So, the answer is C, Hinduism.
Oh, it means having more than one god. I didn't even know what that word meant.
I think he's getting bored. But he's right again for $250.
John now has $250,000. He's only 2 questions away and again, still hasn't used his lifelines. Let's see how he does on the $500,000 question.
What architect designed the glass pyramid in the courtyard of the Louvre?
I've got no clue, but John seems to know for certain.
I am paid!
Okay, here comes the moment I'm making this video for, and why this episode is always stuck in my mind throughout all these years. And like I said earlier, I do know the answer to this question, so I won't be playing along. I'd also like you to keep in mind that John has all 3 of his lifelines. So technically speaking, he could use all 3 of them on this one question if he wanted. Let's see the question.
Which of these U.S. presidents appeared on the television series Laugh-In?
I'd like to call my parents right now.
Sure.
Use my lifeline, call my parents.
So John does indeed decide to use his phone-a-friend lifeline and calls his parents. I'm gonna stop talking here and let you watch this moment from television history.
You've got 30 seconds. Starts right now.
Hi, Dad.
Hi.
I don't really need your help. I just wanted to let you know that I'm gonna win the $1 million.
The balls on this guy, what a legend.
Because the U.S. president appeared on Laugh-In as Richard Nixon, that's my final answer.
Well, my gosh. What can I say except, Debbie, you're going to Paris, and this is the final answer heard all around the world. He's won $1 million.
There you have it, the first person to win $1 million on US television, and he didn't even need a single lifeline to do it. It's November 1999, so he may want to spend that money before Y2K hits. You never know, after the clock strikes midnight, we may be using lapel pins as currency. As John walked away with his wife and $1 million check in his hand, it wouldn't be the last time we would see him on television. He appeared on Good Morning America, Oprah, Letterman, and of course Regis and Kathy Lee. John played himself on a Saturday Night Live sketch where Daryl Hammond played Donald Trump, declaring John would be his running mate for president. That aged interestingly. I'm gonna go ahead and not touch that. He co-authored a trivia book with the longest book title I think I've ever seen. It was called Matching Wits with the $1 Million Mind, the world's hardest trivia quizzes from America's first quiz show, Millionaire. He even came back for the Millionaire Champions Edition and won another $250,000. He was one of the 3 wise men who helped Robert Essig win $1 million on Super Millionaire, and even competed on 1 vs. 100 and Grand Slam. As an IRS agent, he probably already knew this, but after taxes were all said and done, he went home with $600,000. Still a pretty sweet payday. Oh, and the first thing he did after winning? He took his wife to Paris. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a bit different from some of my other videos, but it was just this memory I had stuck in the back of my head for so long that I wanted to revisit. How did you do with the questions? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. For everyone who likes this video, may you get a holiday in August. Oh, speaking of which, let me look up what the federal holiday is in February. Oh, President's Day. Yeah, I wouldn't have known that. Bye everyone.